Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get ready for the match of the season. At this corner, well, I'm not supposed to disclose weight. In the
I'm very sensitive about my physical appearance, bitch.
As far as you know, he could be a midget.
To my right.
No, that's his job.
I
apologize.
We just stole his thunder.
You're not supposed to.
These are the warm-up strikes before the fight.
Anyways,
I don't think you punched the ref.
in the black clothing.
But he's our bag.
To my right, he is the Duke of
East York.
East York. Boy, I fail as announcer.
Yes, you do.
The cynical post-nerd himself. Come here to be the balance to our raging spawn of hell.
The yin to his yang.
And on my left side,
Matt.
Fuck you.
in the gray Florida... What is that?
Florida Gators.
Florida Gators shirt. What is it? Never mind.
The brazen brony.
The sporting shirt.
Yes, the sporting shirt. Here's the
Uncharacteristic
spawn
enough.
of hell. And I don't know whether he'll survive this or not.
I've survived worse.
There will be blood.
Let the match round one. Ding ding. Okay, so
Your move, bitch.
so
Guests begins as always.
So, like what we were focusing on in the last podcast, at the last part, you guys wanted to give that away.
it's called a preview. You know, tantalize.
Preview my ass.
It's a teaser. It's a modern preview where you give away all the good scenes in the first 2 seconds.
Which is what every Disney movie does.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you fucked me up on the whole announcing thing. You stole my thunder,
Mark.
Well,
it's called a nip slip.
I would have done it myself, but after all, I'm a contender, so I can't really introduce myself. I could, but it just make me sound full of myself.
Anyways.
Because this indulgent segment is not at all about that.
Oh, no, it's about the fans. It's about all the lovely people out. No, bullshit, it's about me.
Yeah,
so we were
talking. Love and tolerate everyone to death.
I'd like you guys to rewind back 2 podcasts ago about...
There we go. Good.
Yeah.
He's also our resident sound director for when he does tend to come around, starting from now. Hopefully soon in the future as well.
Oh, we'll just record some sound bites from him. That's just,
just do what they did for Chef on South Park when he left the series. Just take all the previous audio clips of him and splice them together so that he makes coherent sentences, even though they don't make sense.
Hello, children. Why don't you make love to your rectum?
So yeah, like we were talking about 2 podcasts ago when Matt raged about a couple of games. Yeah.
Let's just say E3 just to
E3 in general,
shorten it.
And how it's very pro Nintendo, and he did call out a certain someone.
I didn't call him out about that.
You called him out. You called him out. Yeah, you called.
No, yeah.
Harv.
The man doesn't remember shit.
Harv, do you remember?
I'm not paid enough to remember.
You don't get paid at all.
Exactly.
So you have a witness here, and he watched he listened to the podcast.
Cursing all the way.
So I guess there's some.
I would love to see that movie.
Hmm?
I would love to see that movie.
What, Cursing All the Way?
Yes.
By the way,
sequel to Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Oh my god, that would be frightening.
By the way, we will have uncut bits, and I will probably charge $5 a bit.
Ooh,
pay-per-view.
Yummy.
Anyways,
this is YouTube, Mark. We ain't got that privilege. We're on Blip.
Well, we could get advertisement. Oh no, so wait, they annoy people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Unless we're doing them, in which case
it's
clever and funny.
Exactly, that's our whole angle.
Speaking of, we really gotta get to work on those.
Mm-hmm. We need to find some locations and start shooting for D&D farms.
Our friend Duke over here had a little issue with what he said.
A little issue?
Okay.
Compared to your other comeuppances, yes, it's a little.
Nah, that's true.
Whole reason why I enjoyed the fact that he was going to be on today.
He was looking forward to the slaughter.
Then again, I'm a bit of a devil's advocate towards him.
I believe the word is asshole.
No, sympathizing asshole.
Is that one word or 2?
Again,
hyphenated.
He may be evil, but I have a deep inner evil that enjoy. Basically, I'm a sadist at heart. Maybe I don't know.
Are you also a masochist?
He'll find out when he gets a girlfriend.
Oh, that was a little bit of a low blow.
By the way,
Considering
no low
he's
blow.
So low.
Harvey, explain the rules.
There are no rules.
No foreign objects, no hitting below the belt, no insulting each other's mothers, cause really.
Well, we wouldn't go there anyways.
Nah, your mother would just start hurling heavy objects.
She might kill you.
Yeah, and mine's 6, so
Yes.
that's
That's
quite
not fair.
unfair.
Your mother is sick. And it's a horrible thing.
She's an ex-nun.
Which it begs the question, why am I here?
Well, the word X kind of helps you there.
No, it could have been like, the X-Men. She's an ex-nun.
That would be an amazing comic. Nuns
What do
with
they
powers.
What do they do? Like, fling their rosaries and tangle up your feet, and then they start beating you with friggin' rulers to death or something?
Well, with the
Crosses
flaming
that are
rosary,
really
just
guns.
think it's a whole new
That
spin
sounds
on
like
Gambit.
what?
Equalist
It's a whole new
Army
spin
from
on
Avatar.
Gambit.
It's a whole new spin on Gambit. Clever.
But yeah, we'll give.
What I mean?
Except gambling is illegal. Well, not illegal, but frowned upon if you're part of the church. So
We'll start
we
off.
can find a way.
People play with the wafers.
Hey, no, you know what it would be? It would be Sunday bingo.
So instead of cards,
Or raffle.
bingo chips.
Church raffle. That's technically gambling.
So yeah, let's get on with this match. We'll start off with Duke, because
Visiting team always
Yeah.
starts first.
get it on. Go.
I don't want to have sex with you.
Mark, we don't know which way you swing yet, but we don't swing that
I
way.
want to destroy him, not destroy his asshole.
Oh my god, my virgin bowel.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, you're gonna
We don't
tear.
know anymore.
You're not gonna destroy his asshole, but you're gonna tear him a new asshole.
From what we
Probably.
talked about with your experiences at Big Fat Burrito.
Oh.
The big ass burritos.
No, really, you gotta try that burrito. It's a 2-pound one.
Poop jokes.
Not just poop jokes. If you take it a step further, it's just wrong. And
If you're having a poop, you don't want to take a step anywhere. Stay where you are.
I know things you never see. You never see someone taking a shit while running at full speed.
so yeah,
Another George Carlin quote.
Except
The first one as of today.
Except joggers who aren't smart enough to have a modem first.
There is that video
Unless
of that
they
guy
sneak
running
it
a
in their
marathon
coffee.
taking a shit.
okay. So your response
And then
to
there's
Matt.
Jackass.
Yeah.
Your response to Matt.
Where do you get the balls?
Well, I stole them from you.
Oh, that's where they went. I thought they were in my girlfriend's purse.
Oh.
Anywho,
That's a whole new handbag. What else in a handbag?
It's the
There you
new designer scroting them.
I like to state no interference.
There's supposed to be a running commentary, though.
I have no problem jumping in from the sidelines.
does
Mark,
that make you JR?
you watch wrestling all the time. Are they not commentators?
There are.
So
There's also
do your
commentators.
commentating.
Fine, I'm a heckler. What do you want?
Okay. Well, the match has to start first, and people like to,
It started 15 minutes ago. You're just stalling it out.
Ding. Anyways,
There we
go.
Okay, well, it's just the fact that you were a little hypocritical, contradictory.
I was
and
also
full of
extremely-
shit.
I was also extremely pissed off considering that this was all at the same time as when we came back from Prometheus.
Oh, so now it's Prometheus.
Wait, no, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
Prometheus
No.
was last week.
Yeah.
Take that, you whoreson.
Oh yeah, it was.
Sorry, I'm gonna be partly ref also here, so just keeping things straight.
I need to sleep more.
Really? You don't get enough sleep?
No.
I wonder why, Mr. Snorri Pants.
Oh, we're
I
not
can
going
sleep
there.
through my snoring. You
Yeah,
We're
I
not going
can't.
there.
Yeah, the only one who can.
That does not mean we're sleeping together.
They did not spoon, I swear to God.
I am currently glaring daggers at my
Who says I was totally on your side?
We're creating way too many tangents here.
But that's what's so much fun.
That's probably
Learn
your
from
thing.
Donnie Darko. The tangent universe is your friend.
Yes.
Oh no, wait! It eventually leads to the destruction of the universe.
As this is gonna happen now.
And small parts for Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that.
Yes, he
Anywho,
was.
we're getting off topic again.
What topic is this, anyways?
Drugs, lots and lots of drugs.
Anyways, you were going to talk about how it was mistaken.
Let's put it this way: it's the fact that you were just raging on Sony and Microsoft and saying, "Oh, they don't come out with shut up!
Oh,
let me finish, you whore!"
In my defense, the only thing
left
the only thing I mentioned about Sony was their Harry Potter thing. I did not mention their games.
True.
And that Harry Potter thing, if you check it out, is ridiculous.
Let's put it this way. I have I'm assuming you're talking about the storybook thing, like I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, the spellbook thing that's supposed to work with their Pottermore website.
Well, I don't know about that, but I thought you were talking about the device that they've got that works with the PlayStation Move. That it's like a book that you open, and when you look on the screen, it actually has holographic images and stuff.
That's part of it, but again, it's supposed to work with the Pottermore website. And
well, in terms of that, let's put it this way: I don't think that the Harry Potter aspect of it is going to be a success, but I applaud Sony for trying something a little bit more unique.
Yes, I did like the technology.
The technology is good, but
the fact that their
execution is not.
That they're advertising great. Harry Potter related stuff to children when the average Harry Potter fan is our age just doesn't work.
This so far?
I'm noticing a lot of instant rebuttals before the initial contact has been finished.
Exactly. I tried to, and then you jumped in.
You're a bit too defensive here.
Well, we're not.
Harry, riposte!
We're not talking about a debate here. We're talking about an argument. There's a difference.
Anyways, continue with the asshole ripping.
But anyways, you raged a bit on, maybe not so much on Sony, but on Microsoft.
Sony, I just focused on their badness in Harry Potter. That pissed me off. But anyways, yes, I did rage on Microsoft, and I did bash them, so you may continue on that.
May I?
Yes, you may.
May I? I'm sorry, I didn't realize I needed your permission.
Yes, you do.
It's really entertaining. I'm just gonna...
Oh,
right.
For those of you who can't see through thin air, Mark just scooted farther away from us.
Through thin air and time.
No, I'm just getting comfortable while I'm watching.
It's interesting
You're also
to not
getting
be the
outside
one
the
being
blast
cut off
radius.
All the time.
Yeah.
Oh, screw you.
Continue.
Yes. To repeat my statement for the 17,000th time, you ripped on those two companies, saying that they don't come up with anything new or original. They just kind of try to copy other people, other basically, like, you know, okay. Take, for example, the Wii U is coming out, and you were talking about how, you know, the new controller is pretty What? Anywho, like, I don't remember exactly what you were saying. It was a few days ago that I listened to the podcast, but you were talking about Nintendo and how they come out with something new in that sense, and I assumed you were talking more about the controller aspect, you know, with the
peripherals,
the peripherals, stuff like that.
I was, yes.
Now, and what I couldn't help but notice is the fact that you were saying, oh, you know, it's something new that these guys are now ripping off. But the way I look at it is, no, I mean, take for example, Xbox is coming out with, I believe it's called Smart Glass, which now links your... What are you doing?
Stretching.
Oh, okay. I thought you were doing some kind of a cheer.
Yes.
We're not in the fist pumping stages yet.
Not yet.
Or the fisting.
They're coming up with Smart Glass, which basically allows peripherals such as your iPhone, your iPad, your tablet PC, anything like that, to now be used in the same fashion. So whereas with Nintendo, you have to buy a whole new console that comes with this peripheral to gain access to that kind of gameplay capabilities, when the console itself still has graphics that are shittier than a PlayStation 2, why would you do that when you can just simply bring your iPad into the room to your Xbox and use it in the same fashion without having to pay for anything extra?
I'd like to weigh in.
Let me jump in here for a second. Something put out by Microsoft is allowing you to access it with an Apple product.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. Like, even
Well,
though they are rival companies, but they actually do a pretty good job of allowing cross-platform.
Well, it's more than likely the
keeping
fact
your
that
enemies closer.
the money for whatever app you have to download for it is
Yeah.
going to Microsoft, not
Yeah.
Apple.
Microsoft has I have an Xbox Live app on my phone right here. Smart Glass is going to be coming out. The thing I'm looking forward to. Okay, granted. Now here's a situation where I would see what you're saying about, oh, Nintendo did it first and they're just kind of doing it again. However, they're improving on it. As they said during the Microsoft press conference, I think it's coming this
Which
fall.
still, one part of that I found was ridiculous was when Usher came on.
Yeah,
That was
Someone
weird.
should have shown him off stage.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I thought that was the Ubisoft press conference.
No, that was Microsoft when they were showing yet another Dancing Connect game.
strategy right there. I'll say when we come
No,
back
that was
after
the
this.
Ubisoft one. That was during Ubisoft's.
Was it Ubisoft?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Ubisoft
Yes,
when they were
'cause
doing their Connect
What's
stuff.
her name came out and started,
Yes.
talking about how she had Girlwood and all this shit.
Oh God,
that
yes,
was
that was
one of
awful.
the weirdest press conferences I've ever seen.
Anyways, I've seen weirder, just not at E3.
Yeah. Anyways, what the whole point is, they're I don't say that the Kinect is like a great piece of technology. I have it, but I don't think I've ever used it. The only I don't have any games for it. The only thing I would ever use it for is the voice functionality.
Yeah. Personally, I think the Kinect is great potential, but nobody's yet exploited it.
Exactly. It's the same as we were talking about with Sony's storybook thing. Good technology has potential. They're just not quite doing it yet.
No.
But what they're doing is, what I'm looking forward to is this fall they're actually bringing internet browsing onto the Xbox. Granted, Nintendo did that before with their little web app.
Yeah.
Sony did that. But as Microsoft pointed out, they didn't do them very well. No one uses them because they're not very well implemented.
Yeah, but they're putting Microsoft or they're putting Internet Explorer onto it.
Yes, they're putting Internet
That's
Explorer.
one issue. And the second one is, do you really need an Internet Explorer on your console when 9 times out of 10 your console is usually located somewhere near your actual computer?
Not always.
Well, that's why I'm
Mine's
saying 9
not.
times out of 10, not always.
My computer is in my living room. My Xbox and all my games are set
Yes,
up in
but
my room.
in your old place, your console and your TV was right next to your computer.
Yeah, and then I got a laptop and it was used upstairs. But
Yeah.
regardless,
But
that-
either way,
I
your
can
setup
understand
originally
that.
was.
But let's put it this way: I can see the upsides. If you live alone, you may not use it because you may have a computer. But if you need to get on the internet to do something, and someone else is using your only internet connection, you now have a secondary option.
Yes.
And what I'm looking forward to is the fact that I will be able to use my iPhone as a mouse and a keyboard.
If it works properly.
I'm sure it will. They're pretty
If not
good.
right away, they will.
Yeah, if not right away, they're good at. Like,
they are good.
They're very, and that's the one thing I love about Microsoft is they're very good at coming out with fixes for things.
Yes. The
Well-
thing is that what I don't like is the fact that they don't admit to the fixes right away.
When using your own device, let's hope that the red ring isn't contagious.
Yeah.
We would hope not.
I haven't.
That's the last
The
thing.
Red Ring of Death is such old news that hasn't happened in years.
There's still some
It's
going
happening
on.
with
It's
the
less
newest
common.
360s.
Well, see, that's why
actually.
I'm lucky because my console is undead. My console is the Resident Evil 5 console, which has never had any problems.
Well, it's
Still
immune to all
works.
the other viruses. And
Exactly, and it's red already. The console is red, so
Yeah.
you know.
Speaking of, I really look forward to Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, that should be good.
Fuck!
Yes. I don't get that, but
You interrupted
whatever.
the match. Red card. No, yellow card.
Yellow card.
A kid just got their first word.
Oh yeah, that's right. We agreed.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Every
Oh.
time he goes "fuck," it's because we agreed on
We
something.
need a soundbite then.
Yes, but I think everyone can agree that Resident Evil 6 is a game to look forward to.
Hopefully.
Sure.
My statement is hopefully. You know.
Well, the Resident
Not
Evil
the
games
soundbite
haven't
I was
failed
looking for,
badly
Harvey.
yet.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, they're basically saying instead of going and buying a new console that has pretty crappy graphics, you can now use the devices that you already own in the same manner, and you don't have to pay any extra money for that.
As long as you own the devices.
As long as you own the devices. But the thing is, it's not a requirement for the
Yes.
system or any of the games. It's an extra thing. If
But
you want to do it, you can.
At the same time, at least with Nintendo, the thing comes with the system. They're not asking you to buy it afterwards. So.
Yeah. That's where, with Sony, I'm pretty sure they have a peripheral that they're doing a similar thing, but I'm pretty sure that with them you have to buy an actual controller peripheral.
More than likely,
It goes with the Move. I'm pretty sure it's like this device that you actually it's basically just a holder. You know, you put your tablet in there and it attaches the controllers to the side.
I see that more or less as Sony's response more to the Kinect than to Nintendo's thing.
That seems like their attempt at competing with both. In my opinion.
A
And
mix
it's like-
of both, and
I guess
in gaming, I find very rarely do mixes of two ideas ever work.
Yeah, not really. Like that's why I at least think I respect Microsoft for what they're doing. Granted, it's not like a huge leap.
Yeah.
You know, they're just putting an Internet Explorer on there. Okay, fine. But they're doing stuff in a little bit more of a realistic way.
Yes.
For people to actually get into.
Yeah, but with Nintendo, they know that in terms of graphics and just the power of the systems, they are the underdog. They've chosen to be so in that sense, to focus on other aspects.
Now, if only they could come out with good games.
They've got good games,
Not
just
many.
not for everyone.
My view with Nintendo is the same as Sony at this point. Like, I'm primarily an Xbox gamer.
Yes.
I do have a PlayStation 3 and a Wii. I haven't touched the Wii, which sounds kind of dirty. I haven't touched my Wii for years.
Well, you got a girlfriend for that.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
No, I haven't used my Wii for like over a year now because I just can't get into it. I can't. There's no games I'm interested in playing. But it's the same with Sony.
As I will always
touched...
say about the Nintendo Wii, the best thing that they should have focused on was just for party games.
Yeah, that's why it was called the Wii. It was supposed to be a group family thing.
The Mario Party games are fun. I love the fact that they re-released GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's what the Wii should have focused on primarily.
Yeah. It's tough to...
And then just the other games should have been just Nintendo staples.
What's the hand doing here? Like I'm saying, it's tough to judge the Wii looking at it purely as a solo system that you're going to play one-player games on, because that hasn't been Nintendo's strong point for a long time, I have to say.
Yeah.
They botched it with the GameCube.
Yeah. See, the GameCube introduced... Sorry, Mark, there.
No, go.
GameCube introduced a lot more of the focus onto the party games and multiplayer stuff, which they've expanded on more on the Wii. Granted, some of the companies that they have to do some of these games that use the Wiimotes and all this other technology, they don't always get it right. A lot of it's very gimmicky, some of it's very niche, and some of it just is poorly executed. But there are a few games that actually pull it off, and there are some gems in the whole library of
that was my point. What I was getting to is that although I have not touched my Wii for like over a year, and only recently started playing with my PlayStation 3 again...
He just found God.
Yes, exactly. It's because those two consoles are my exclusive consoles. Games that are exclusive to those systems are usually the best ones because they're meant for that console. They're made by the developers,
which is why
to
you
be
will
for that console.
not see me supporting the fact that on the Wii U they're releasing the next Assassin's Creed.
That's going to be such a bad port.
They're re-releasing Mass Effect 3. That I find is ridiculous because that's a game that's supposed to rely on.
That would be cool would probably be with the controller aspect. You're probably doing a lot of management using the pad, but it would be kind of cool.
That would be kind of cool, but kind of pointless to release the third part of a game series
that was never on the console in the first place.
That was essentially made to be played in 3 parts so you could carry over your character.
But now you can buy the extra character with your Nintendo points.
What? I'm talking about your Shepherd. I'm not talking about the add-on characters.
I'm saying the guy you had to pay to play with. That's an interesting way of putting it. The extra character you had to buy as DLC, you could use Nintendo points for. Thanks for killing the joke, Matt.
But I'm talking about the Shepherd, not the DLC characters, though. That's a whole different.
Continue with the battle.
That's a whole different thing here, Harvey.
Round 3, fight.
We're on round 3 already? I thought we were still
Anyways, and the Assassin's Creed one, the only thing that might be interesting with it is, again, with the controller, where maybe something to do with the Animus might be on there.
Maybe.
But
that's the whole point.
But again, that will look better still on the 360, where if their tablet thing actually works for Assassin's Creed.
Let's put it this way. I would probably be a bigger... Granted... Xbox doesn't have as many exclusives. They do have some, not as many
as many as they used to.
Not as many as they used to,
especially with Sony buying out a lot of them.
Yeah, so the Xbox is my primary console for the fact that it has its own exclusives and it has all the other ports that the other consoles have too. I think the only thing that would have made me a PlayStation gamer rather than an Xbox gamer is because I actually find the Xbox controller a lot more comfortable than a PlayStation controller.
Out of all of them, the Xbox controller is the most comfortable,
if
why
the PlayStation controller were more comfortable, it would be my console.
Which is why I do not blame that the Wii U's actual controller without the tablet, it looks like the 360 controller.
Yeah, that's an
huge
ergonomic
design, though.
Yeah. The Xbox controller is the most comfortable controller I've ever held, and I've held them all.
The Xbox 360 controller.
Yes, the Xbox 360.
They made a vast improvement over the first one.
Yeah, well, actually, as it is, the original Xbox had two generations of controllers. The original generation was shit. It was the worst. It was basically an oversized version of a Dreamcast controller.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Without the screen in the middle.
Yeah, so...
I don't recall what Dreamcast games actually used that screen.
I don't think any of them did, really. But the second gen one was basically the same as the current Xbox 360 controller, just a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So a little bit more cumbersome.
And not as streamlined.
Yeah, and it didn't have the bumpers. It still had the black and white buttons. But they were no longer up here. They were down, like up, where you had to stretch your thumb farther than any human thumb could reach. Or they were then placed basically right, like underneath the normal, ABS.
Which when I played the original Xbox and games had you repeatedly used those two buttons, made me wonder who play tested this and thought this was comfortable.
Yeah. So yes, that's it. If the Xbox controller were you able to be used on the PlayStation 3 would be my console because it does have better capabilities in terms of its graphical processing.
Mm-hmm. It runs on Blu-ray, so
it runs on Blu-ray. It's the storage options are
and
better.
The fact that
I still go by the fact that that's the only reason why it sold when it first came out.
Yeah,
cheap-ass Blu-ray player.
Yeah, that's up until recently. That was the only thing I used it for was a Blu-ray player.
That's what most people did because it didn't have any standout release games.
That's kind of my first one though, out of all the three current ones now. That was basically my first one because I've always been a PlayStation guy.
Well, I was originally I was a PlayStation gamer only, and then I ended up getting an Xbox like a year before the 360 came out. So I only bought it for like $100. It was cheap, and I was in the mood for it.
And your controller was the second gen.
Newer gen.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I got it was because I was bored and I wanted to play some of the Xbox exclusive games. So,
i.e. Halo and not Gears. Gears was 360
Gears
only.
Was 360. But yeah, that's the reason why I got it. And then after that, the 360 came out because I liked the Xbox, and the 360 came out like a year or two after I got the original Xbox. And the PlayStation 3 was still a long way across the horizon, so I didn't bother waiting. I wanted to get next gen, and I did, and I loved the console. I even dealt with the original problems that they all had.
Nice.
Had a couple of headaches, but in the long run.
Couple?
The infamous
Red Ring of Death.
Yeah.
Twice.
Overheating a couple of times.
Well, that's what the Red Ring of Death was. Basically, the Red Ring of Death was an overheat that caused a small part on the inside to actually melt.
Yes, but you also had an overheat without the melt.
Yeah, basically.
Where it just shut down.
Yeah, but I think part of that was just the fact that the basement of my old house didn't have the greatest circulation at that point in terms of the ventilation. And so I'm pretty sure I would sit and play for like 8+ hours in a row. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
that was one thing that they talked about with the PS3 is that it was supposed to be able to run for like hours and hours on end. Not necessarily playing a game, but it would run without overheating.
Yeah. I have one of the original PlayStation 3s, not one of the newer slim ones. I have the 60 gig that is in such demand. I could probably sell it on eBay for like a fuckload, but I'm not going to get rid of it.
Pretty much the original price you could get it back for.
So like $700.
I'm basically in the same boat. I still have it.
Yeah,
like the old one.
Still got it. Oh. One thing I really liked because I used to play games with my brother, and he's got a 360. So there were some on the Microsoft library that I liked a lot that weren't necessarily exclusive. Like we would play the Baldur's Gate games, which are based off of the D&D universe, and there's a lot of the similar mechanics from the older games. And then we played Champions of Norath, which I think we actually had on PlayStation 2 as well. But the expansions for these games and this whole line was just really good, and we played that for a long ass time. It's actually pretty great co-op that was third person. It's not a shooter, it's fantasy stuff. And it was actually a lot of fun, so I got some props for that. I also played the first 2 Halo games. Shooters are not my strength at all. I got my ass kicked, especially when I play with other friends in a multiplayer. They pretty much go around and kill Harvey and then take care of each other.
So that's why every time we played
GoldenEye, I'd end up blowing myself up.
Or just like standing right there in the open area.
I'm sorry, but some of the best times can still be had with GoldenEye for the N64.
Yes.
Especially when alcohol is involved.
Oh, I'm sure.
Drunken multiplayer.
I don't know. The only thing
Even the Wii version's got the same thing.
The only
going
problem
for
I
it.
have with GoldenEye is some parts get dark and, you know.
Well, that's why you usually don't play those levels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Because on the original and on the other one, there's a sewer level where they don't even give you night vision.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
But yeah. So... we done?
I think we covered most of the points, and we had
It wasn't as big of a bloodbath.
Wait, the shooter thing.
Well, we talked about that before already.
Well, I suppose we should reiterate.
Yes, the fact that
he bashed shooters, saying that they're all exactly the same.
90% of them are.
No, I'll admit, a lot of shooters share the same components and the same gameplay elements
And same control scheme.
Shut the hell up. But I just compare it with the same thing. You said, Nintendo games, they come out with new, exciting games that we can look forward to. Really? Another Mario game where you use the exact same controls to jump up and down on Goomba's heads. Ooh, that's
I don't remember
original.
the last Mario game except for the ones where you're for multiplayer, the Super Mario Brothers, where you have to fight a Goomba, actually.
Well, that's the point. The point is, okay, sure, they changed the locations, they changed the enemy types, but the basic formula for the game was the same. What they should have done was come out with a newer version, a continuation of Mario 64, which they did do with Mario Galaxy and stuff. But they should keep doing that.
Well, they are.
Get into the 3D version, not the two-dimensional side scroll.
Well, that's what they did before with Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2.
Yeah,
which is something good. There are Goombas in that Galaxy as well.
Yeah, but not in 2.
Not okay. I haven't played 2.
But anyways, the point was I was using that as an example to show how much that hasn't changed. Whereas with shooters, granted the same formula comes down to it, but there's different kinds of shooters, and they all granted when you get down to it.
And there are different kinds of Mario games, though.
Okay, how many? 2 or 3?
At least a dozen.
I don't think so.
Especially if you throw in the side games.
So, Tim. Anyway.
And the RPGs.
I think I hit a button.
Okay, but
this is
when
as
it
bloody
comes
as
to
we've had.
it comes to shooters, there's different types. There's first person, third person. Those are the basic ideas. But then within them, you can have cover shooters. You can have run and guns. You can have military simulations, sci-fi. All sorts of things.
Yes,
I
but
think
then
what
there's
you're
the one-
basing it on is the whole idea that Call of Duty is the best and only shooter, and that all shooters are copies of it.
Well,
you never see second-person shooters.
Yeah, I know, it's very tough. There's all this dimensional shit involved. It just makes it too difficult.
Yeah.
Controls are a bitch.
It's like just watching a mirror.
Battlefield
3.
Open world,
Yeah.
multiplayer, shooters, large
And
maps.
I gotta say, it's really hard to snipe with that.
Oh, no, that's the only thing I do. That's the only thing I do in Battlefield.
With the Battlefield, they actually have the sniping mechanics down to fairly realistic.
Yeah.
Because...
you got to account for gravity. And
yeah,
distance.
I know tons of people that play the Battlefield games, and they say they can't snipe, and I'm asking,
It's 'cause
are
they-
you aiming your...
It's like, look, this guy is 6 kilometers away. I'm putting the crosshair right on his head.
Yeah,
No,
are you
gotta
aiming right
aim
at the
about
person?
6
Yeah.
meters above his head.
Yeah.
I always ask them, are you aiming at the person?
Or at the shrub that's over there. Because if you want to kill this guy, aim at the shrub.
If you're having trouble, you have to upgrade your catheter with in-game points.
Exactly.
No. With the Battlefield games, yes, they've got that right, but the Call of Duty games, they are a formula, essentially.
Yes.
And
that
they spew them out way too
that
fast.
I would agree with. And everyone agrees with that.
Yes.
The Call of Duty has become
And that was the
new
game-
Call of Duty is the shooter version of sports games.
Yeah.
They come out with a new one every year.
Not even
and
every year, sometimes 3 a year.
No. They don't come out with more than one Call of Duty every year, my friend.
Oh, no, I'm
Don't
thinking
even
of,
try
I'm
to
thinking
say
of
that.
something else. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you were thinking about bullshit!
No, I was thinking of the year when 2 of the Halo games came out at the same time.
Exactamundo. And that's my other pet
Yes,
peeve
but
right
I
there
was
is
focusing
Halo.
on Halo's story.
Yes. Well, see, that's just it. With Call of Duty, granted, it's very formulaic and very repetitive, But when it comes down to that, for me to have fun with it, I don't play them all the time. I don't care too much for the multiplayer, which is shocking for most people. But with the single player, I play through it once, enjoy it, and then shelf it for at least a year, and then you go back and play it, and you get that same satisfaction out of it. It's not something you just sit and play.
I like Battlefield, some of Battlefield story, especially Bad Company. That was fun.
Bad Company was good. Bad Company
was a fun game.
One of my favorite ones, yeah. But yeah,
2 wasn't as great. I found when I played it. 2 wasn't as great story-wise. I found.
I lost track a long time ago, Mr. Referee.
Yeah, I'm not.
He's a ref. You're supposed to be the judge here.
Oh dear.
I'll save my judgments to the end.
Okay.
You judgmental bastard.
Okay, so
but like, yeah. So the point is, there's different types.
But at that point, I was just raging about the Call of Duty game.
That's just it. You were and you were harping on
shooters,
on shooters and
shooters,
and on
Brian's a shoe puff.
Gears. And you were harping on Gears.
Raise your hand if you know where that's from.
Yeah. Which I
come on.
I don't get why you were harping on Gears, because
Here's the
point that really pissed me off is you go from harping on Gears saying why, and then you say, but Halo is coming out and we can look forward to that. At that point, I face palmed and shat myself.
Because as I continue saying, because it's a continuation of the story, not.
Which is exactly what Gears of War is, because you were under the misconception that this new one was a continuation.
Yes, at that time,
after the end
all
of
data from me, all things from E3 were saying it was a sequel.
Well,
which I will now
the
admit,
information is pointing towards prequel now, which makes sense.
I will say,
because there was a lot that happened before the first Gears of War.
Yes, the whole
Emergence Day and everything.
Well, I think before Emergency there was that. They have the whole human-on-human war they had.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot more. But so yeah, there's yes, he is retracting.
Oh yes, I'm retracting
those statements. I am owning him.
I'm retracting the statements because information I was given.
Shit they are.
This is what Jane Goodall feels like.
Exactly. So
now you know why I like being the saddest
and like
watching like gladiators fighting each other.
And in terms of story, like, and I say your defense of Halo was, the storyline is great. I agree.
Yeah,
I liked Halo's story. Even more than that, I loved the music. The soundtrack for Halo is kick ass.
And you gotta love what Red vs. Blue is.
Yeah. So stuff like that.
I'm sure you haven't seen it in a while, but
not for a while. But yeah, stuff like that.
They've gone full CG. They don't even use the games anymore.
Nice. Anyways, but that being said, Halo is just like Call of Duty in the sense that it is the most like cliched formula-filled shooter that does nothing to differentiate itself one game to the other. I played all the original 3 Halo games, never finished them. Got through about halfway and said, "Fuck this shit."
Mind you, the one game they did try and differentiate, Halo Wars, completely bombed.
Exactly. So. That being said, you've got Gears of War, which when it comes down to the base gameplay, it's a cover shooter. But if you were to go, I challenge you to sit down...
I still like the weapons in Gears better than Halo.
Yeah, I challenge you to sit down and play through Gears 1 through 3 in order and tell me that you can't see the difference between them.
Right.
The controls got a little bit more refined, the gameplay options got better, the interactivity got better, the weapons got better.
They introduced a proper multiplayer mode.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It had good multiplayer before, but there's
not the first one.
More multi. Yeah, I view the first one as more of a beta. It was the gameplay itself was more of a beta where they wanted to try out a few new things and see if they worked.
Years ago at our friend's birthday party where me and you were going at it at Gears multiplayer.
Yeah.
Just killing each other one after another.
Yeah.
That was interesting multiplayer mode.
Yeah,
I did forget to mention one of the games I did play with my brother on the 360. We played the first 2 Gears games. Never got around to the third one, but enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. And the storyline was pretty good.
Yeah.
Gears
also did co-op better.
Yes. The co-op in Gears has been fantastic, even since the first one.
Well, you're actually playing as a character that's there, not
like a visual doppelganger of the main character.
Yeah. Except in Halo 3, where you play as the Arbiter, which doesn't even make sense later on when they split paths.
Yeah. So
wait, no, Halo 2 you play as the Arbiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in Halo 3, when you co-op for part of the game,
he shows up.
one character plays as the arbiter, the other plays as
the chief.
As the chief, and then afterwards it just gets confusing when in the storyline they split up and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, like there's different elements. I mean, I just felt that with your arguments, you were being very, very not only one-sided, but you were lumping everything into one generic pile, and you weren't really differentiating anything. Mm-hmm. And so you were basically condemning all of shooters as well as, Microsoft and Sony for not doing the magnificent things that Nintendo does in terms of its gameplay.
Yeah, but you can't clump in all Nintendo games the same way.
No, I don't clump them in. Like I said, that's why I said...
Well, when we started this, you kind of did.
But I went more into detail.
Yeah.
You give a general statement to begin with, and then you elaborate.
Yes.
You don't just throw shit.
And I was
raging.
Yes, I was raging. I don't think with rage there comes time to elaborate.
Exactly.
Actually, which is proof that you shouldn't rage. It's not good for your blood pressure.
If you remember my rage about
I got hit by a car in my
buttons, I got pretty articulate there. I didn't.
Yes.
That's one of the times when I have pretty good linguistic clarity is when I'm pissed off at something.
Yes, but.
By the way, it is a flawed fix. I have to constantly blow on those stupid buttons to make them work again.
I actually blowed once and that was it. I'm good.
Yeah, but as for me, when I rage, my blood pressure doesn't get affected. I mean, I'm the guy who got hit by a car and they couldn't even find my pulse.
Yeah, but you're also the one that, from what I heard over the podcast, you had veins pulsating in your head.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like your blood pressure.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Mark and I were watching you as you raged at Prometheus.
Yeah,
we
your
saw.
face kind of turned like bright red.
As it is
very
now,
quickly.
But I'll attribute that more to the heat.
Yes,
because I'm
your
sure
face
my
is
face
red.
is just as red as well. That's part of the reason why I'm not totally raging on you like you did, is because it is so hot out right now.
That's the reason
I
why
just do not have the energy to do
Neither
that.
do I, because,
my arms are clearly sunburnt now.
Yeah, you might want to get some aloe on that.
Yummy.
One thing I will say about shooters these days, it's not that they're all the same or all repetitive, but you have to acknowledge that a lot of them follow the very similar flavor of the mostly realistic in some ways, military grade stuff where you go and you're shooting up different terrorist groups or something.
Which is exactly why I think Max Payne 3 is one of the greatest games ever made, because it is not meant to be realistic. That is the pure definition of a run and gun shooter.
Yes.
There is cover in it, but the cover is not meant to be a cover shooter where you sit in the same cover and you pop out and shoot, you reload, you pop out and shoot.
Anyone who does that in a Max Payne game is missing the point.
Exactly. And the thing is, out of force of habit, when I first started playing the game, I was doing that because I had been playing cover shooters before then, and I noticed I was getting killed. I wasn't getting anywhere, and I couldn't figure out why, and then I realized, oh, that's why. I'm staying in cover too much. I need to get out and run and dive and go in slow motion and kick their asses.
The slow-mo is what really makes it.
I had the exact opposite problem when I started playing Gears.
You were running around open shoot. Exactly.
Yeah, I was trying to shoot shit up and dying all the time. My brother had to drag me back into cover.
And that works fine for the first few levels, but...
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
No, not really. But see, that's
first two levels, yeah.
That's just the thing. So that'll show you the complete... opposite ends of the spectrum. You got Gears of War, which is a cover-heavy shooter, especially when you're playing on hardcore and the higher difficulty levels.
God.
If you pop out a cover in that game and you don't have good aim, you will die in a second if you're caught out of cover.
Whereas in hardcore mode, you'll get headshot for so quick.
Exactly, but the point of... So that's one end of the spectrum. Then you can jump to Max Payne, where the point of that is to be an over-the-top badass good time shooter. It's not meant to be realistic. I mean, in the game you get shot lots of times and you don't die, and it is even visual, and it even continues on. If you get shot during a level, you could even get shot right in the heart, something that should have killed him, and you see the bullet hole and the blood, and then in the next cutscene that wound is still there and he's walking around, but the excuse is he's a painkiller addict.
Yes.
So he can get by because pain doesn't affect him.
Yeah.
It's unrealistic. You get shot in the heart, you're going to die. But they're exaggerating that fact and saying, he can take the pain.
Mm-hmm. It's campy in a hardcore kind of way.
It's campy in a hardcore way. Well, it's the same idea. When you think about it, that's where most shooters started from. There was no such thing as a cover shooter, way back when. Like, very few games ever did it.
Yeah, I don't
and
think
if they did it, it didn't really do it very well. Most games were run and gun. The closest thing to a cover system in a game was when you actually just stood behind a wall, popped out manually and shot, and went back in.
Yeah, like going back to it, GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, Halo, even Call of Duty.
Look
Call
at
of Duty
Gran
still does
Turismo
that.
or Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, there you
Even
go.
shit like that.
But see, that's Rockstar's speciality. Rockstar does unrealistic games, but they're meant to be unrealistic in a way that it's just kick-ass fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're playing a Grand Theft Auto game,
you're expected to kill a few hookers.
Yeah,
I mean, you're expected to kill everything and everyone.
And if you know, and here's the kicker, I love it. No, like
speaking of, has anyone here managed to get the full star rating in a Grand Theft Auto game?
No.
But
like
now cheat codes, right?
Anyways, like I won't get off on this tangent. This whole talking about the mothers against M-rated games and all that shit.
Let's not.
I
go
won't
there.
get into that.
That's
at
just,
least not today.
No.
No, that's a whole different monster.
Yeah.
We'll probably put that another day.
Yeah, but the point is, like, people, all I'll say about that is, people rage and say, oh, Rockstar shouldn't be making these games. They're not appropriate for children. Well, the point is, those games aren't made for children.
Yep.
They're made for
you
adults.
shouldn't be
Reason why it
buying
says
it for your children.
M for mature, not children. If you buy it for your own kid, it's your own fault.
It's like taking a kid to an R-rated R for restricted.
The thing with those mothers is they're the kind of parents that
blame others.
blame others, and when their kid wants a game, they don't even look at the cover. They just go to the
buy
nearest clerk and say, yeah, my kid wants this game.
Yeah.
And then once they get home, oh my god, it's violent!
But you want the absolute proof that kids shouldn't have anything to do with, like, Grand Theft Auto and all that? When's the last time you saw a child depicted inside Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
They're nowhere.
No.
Because the only people...
That's a good...
Granted, you're meant to kill... You can kill pretty much anyone you want in Grand Theft Auto.
Except for main characters.
Except for main characters. But the point is, there's no kids.
Yeah.
They don't digitally include kids.
That's a
because
good rule.
They don't... That's the point. It's
that's
not
a good
meant
rule
to be
have.
realistic.
If there are no kids in the game, don't buy it for your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just... It's ridiculous,
Yeah. Which is, if you know the story for Fallout 3... No, not Fallout 3. Fallout Vegas. They were actually going to have kids in there that could be killed.
I still say, don't buy Elder Scrolls Skyrim for your young kids because there are kids in that, but they're.
Well, if you get the PC version, you can hack it to kill them.
Yeah, but the people that I find it really dark that people do that. Actually,
Yeah.
there have been times when I want to shout at a kid across the room because he's being a punk ass kid, but I don't want to kill him.
That being said, if there was if let's put it this way, if there was the capability to kill a child in Skyrim and he was particularly annoying me, I would. But that's not because it's a child. I know it's not real. It's a digital simulation.
Yeah.
The only difference between that kid and the adult standing
Flesh
next
and
to him
bone.
is they didn't animate him to be full size.
Yeah.
And they gave him the voice of a child. It's still a fake character. If something annoys me, I'm going to hack its head off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's not flesh and bone.
It's not flesh and bone. That's the whole idea that video games are murder simulators is just retarded.
And any news story that claims the Army's using shooters to train soldiers...
Bullshit.
Yeah,
because
no.
Call of Duty is exactly what the war in Afghanistan.
I'm sorry, but any army that actually seriously uses... Any army that seriously uses shooters to train their soldiers, they're going to lose wars.
To have a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Holy crap, there's a lot of kids saying fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we've ranted on enough.
Okay, so
we're almost at 50 minutes.
how's your judging? Actually, wait. Final statements. Final statements from either
Try
one.
not to be so full of shit. No, I mean, try not to speak so generally. I've noticed not only with video games, but with a lot of stuff, you tend to lump things together and speak in a very general way when you don't really take into account all the factors. But hey, whatever.
Your turn.
And of course, I'll just simply say that there are more games outside the 360 that you already know are worth checking out.
Yeah,
So.
and I never said they were.
Why does it sound like he took it? Why does that sound like he took it like a champ?
Because I do. You saw,
Which seems to be a first for this podcast.
You saw the other week where we were at 401.
Oh, you should have been with me. You should have been with us when we did the Walking Dead one.
Oh yeah.
He went
We
over.
won't get
on
into that.
No.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's put it this way: I agreed and disagreed with you on different points.
Same thing with Mark, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Mark did a fairly good job with
Yeah,
that.
that's a whole discussion in itself, and that doesn't come down to you were full of shit. That's just different people's opinions.
Yes.
Yeah.
How you interpret each thing.
Exactly.
So, Harv, how did you score it? And I'll give my scores.
Well, I've got to say that it certainly brought out a lot of Matt's more elaborated and logistical points when he was challenged on his general statements. And
Well, that's what happens when I'm challenged on the same level.
yes.
I don't
Yes,
know
when-
if I should be complimented or insulted by that.
Take it as both.
When there is someone that can speak at the same volume, at the same
The
level
same
of
volume.
rage, then it's certainly a lot easier to get you to hold it back a little bit.
The heat helps.
I don't know. It's like having two lions going for the same meal.
Meat.
They're on even ground until one of them like swipes him from behind or something.
That sounded vaguely sexual.
Anyways,
To you, everything's vaguely sexual.
so
Just vaguely.
back to your scoring. Who did you score it for?
For this one, I'm going to score more in favor of our Sir Duke.
Woo!
I'll agree with that. His points were valid. He has won this. For now.
You feel so humbled right now.
I'm not humbled. I am just saying he's won the battle, but not the war.
The look on your face says,
Fuck!
God damn it!
Well,
I look at my face is that I don't have a 2x4 with me.
now, contrary to what Matt thinks, I wasn't totally for Duke on this.
I've disowned you.
But I did in favor of Duke. Wouldn't go in exact scoring, but he won by a margin. I don't know how big of a margin.
Oh, that sounds very insulting.
But anyways, we should
Bye, huh?
wrap this up very soon. Which we're heading up into Prometheus length territory.
Yeah. Well, listeners, what do you think? Who won? Get back to us.
With your opinions, whoever you agree with, and whichever games you enjoy more.
Matt won't hunt you down if you say you didn't win. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
it's okay.
No, I won't. I won't hunt you down. Don't worry.
It's okay.
I'll let him do it.
I'm here to make sure he doesn't.
I'll let Andrew do it. He can be my hitman.
Oh, there's another good game I'm looking forward to.
Oh, yeah. That was an interesting trailer.
Okay.
With the
All right,
nuns.
and we shall wrap
Go
it
We
up.
gotta
Go
stop.
Toby.
We're gonna
Wrapping
goodbye.
up.
And that's it. See you in the next segment.